They tell you the skies belong to the birds and the planes, but the secret files tell a different story.
Welcome to UFOs Mystery Files, where we open case MF003P1. The timing of this broadcast is nothing short of uncanny.
Pentagon breached its own vaults, dropping highly classified intelligence on unidentified flying objects right into the public domain. It forced me to scrap my original script, pause production, and dive straight into the deep end of these newly unsealed documents.
A UFO isn't just a sci-fi trope. It's a cold, hard military designation for anything in the sky that defies known physics, aviation tech, or human explanation. When the Pentagon dropped these 162 secret files, the internet exploded with speculation. I spent sleepless nights cross-referencing their data, tracking public reactions, and rebuilding this investigation from scratch. Everyone is asking the same burning questions, and today we are tackling the 7 biggest mysteries hidden within these pages.
The first question on everyone's mind is simple. Why does this stuff only seem to happen in America? Are we the only ones looking up? Or is something specifically targeting US airspace? The second query is a modern reality check. With a high-definition camera in every single pocket today, why has the influx of clear, undeniable footage seemingly dried up? To find the truth, we have to strip away the cinematic hype and look at the raw historical data across the globe. The truth is, these mysterious anomalies aren't a uniquely American phenomenon. They have been breaching our atmosphere since long before the United States was even a thought on a map. After meticulous research, I have compiled 11 fully documented, highly credible historical accounts from every corner of the globe. None of them involve America, and all of them are backed by verifiable archival records. Let us start at the very beginning, with the oldest documented encounter in human history. Travel back to 1500 BC, deep into the heart of ancient Egypt during the reign of Pharaoh Thutmose III. It was a freezing winter evening when the royal guards spotted a massive, silent circle of fire hovering in the desert sky. It didn't move or travel. It just hung there, suspended in the crisp air. It was so agonizingly close to the ground that witnesses recorded smelling a strange, metallic odor wafting down from the glowing aerial anomaly. Within days, the single fiery ring returned, but this time it brought an entire armada. Dozens of glowing spheres filled the Egyptian sky, shining with a brilliant intensity that rivaled the midday sun. They drifted slowly across the heavens, a silent, overwhelming show of unknown power. Terrified but fascinated, the Pharaoh summoned his top generals and ordered the royal scribes to record this unbelievable event directly into the official imperial archives, known as the Book of Life. Fast forward to 218 BC, during the height of the Roman Empire. The legendary historian Livy, famous for his brutal honesty and uncompromising historical accuracy, recorded a chilling event in the city of Irpi, Italy. According to official imperial records, the sky suddenly filled with massive, shimmering silver shields that looked like polished plates hovering over the stone buildings. In other sectors of the empire, witnesses watched in horror as glowing spheres appeared to engage in an aerial battle. Our journey next takes us to the 8th century, into the dense forests of the Kashmir region. Long before modern borders were drawn, a powerful emperor named Lalitaditya Muktapida was leading his grand army on a northern military campaign. suddenly. The sky erupted with blinding, hyper-fast objects dancing up and down through the clouds. The Emperor ordered his elite vanguard to pursue the lights, chasing them deep into the uncharted wilderness until the anomalies vanished into thin air. In the year 1088, one of China's most revered scientists and philosophers, Master Shen Kuo, the brilliant mind who invented the magnetic compass, recorded a scientific anomaly that lasted for a staggering 10 years. Over the Yangzhou province, a massive pearl-like object took up residence in the sky. It was no myth. Shen Kuo documented it with cold, clinical precision. The object would regularly descend into the local lake, skimming the water's surface at impossible speeds. The most shocking detail from Master Shen Kuo's journal occurred on a clear evening when the giant aerial pearl suddenly split right down the center like a mechanical shell. From its core, an intense golden object emerged, casting shadows through the local forests for miles around. This wasn't a spiritual vision. It was recorded in his famous scientific text, the Dream Pool Essays, treating the phenomenon not as folklore, but as a tangible, mechanical reality. On the chaotic morning of April 14, 1561, the citizens of Nuremberg, Germany, woke up to a living nightmare in the sky. Hundreds of blood-red, blue, and pitch-black spheres and massive floating cylinders began maneuvering around each other in what looked like a full-scale war above the church spires. The aerial battle raged for hours, so long that local cartographer Hans Glaser meticulously captured the terrifying scene in a famous surviving woodcut illustration.
Just 5 years later, in the summer of 1566, the citizens of Basel, Switzerland experienced the exact same terrifying phenomenon. 3 separate times during July and August, the sky turned pitch black as dozens of dark, hyper-fast spheres swarmed the air, darting and weaving as if locked in combat. Samuel Coxius recorded the event in the city's official broadsheet. The original documents remain preserved to this day in the Zurich Central Library for anyone daring enough to look.
In the spring of 1621, during the reign of the Mughal Emperor Jahangir, a blinding object plummeted from the sky and slammed into the earth in Jalandhar. The impact rumbled for miles. Jahangir, a passionate naturalist, ordered his imperial engineers to excavate the crash site immediately. They recovered a blazing hot, unknown metal alloy that behaved completely differently than ordinary iron. It was handed over to the royal blacksmith, Ustad Daoud, to forge into imperial weapons. From that mysterious celestial metal, the blacksmith forged 2 legendary swords and a dagger. The weapons possessed a sharpness and durability that defied the era's metallurgy, easily outperforming the legendary Damascus steel. Jahangir named one sword Shamshir-e-Barksoft, the blade with the quality of lightning. While many dismiss it as a standard meteorite impact, historical records note the metal melted like a high-grade advanced alloy, hinting at something far more technological. Our 8th historical file takes us to the eastern coast of Japan in the winter of 1803. This terrifying encounter is so well documented that it is preserved across 4 major historical texts, including the personal diary of a local queen. On the cold morning of February 22nd, humble fishermen spotted a bizarre object floating silently in the frigid ocean waves. It was a bizarre, round, bowl-shaped vessel, unlike any watercraft known to human engineering at the time. The lower half of this mysterious vessel was forged from heavy iron with strange brass strips, while the upper dome featured windows carved from an unknown crystal. Etched across the entire hull were bizarre inscriptions and engravings in an unrecognized language that no scholar could read. Suddenly, a stunningly beautiful young woman stepped out of the craft. She appeared entirely foreign, with pale skin, vibrant red and white hair, and a delicate, flowing gown. The foreign woman spoke in an unknown language and held a small wooden box tightly against her chest. She refused to let anyone touch or approach it, guarding it as if her very life depended on its contents. At the time, Japan was locked in the historic Sakoku period, a strict 214-year era of total isolation, where entering or leaving the country carried a swift death penalty. Terrified of royal guards and severe consequences, the fisherman pushed her vessel back out to sea. The unknown craft, known historically as the Utsuro Bune, or hollow ship, vanished into the ocean mist, leaving behind an eerie mystery that mirrors modern UFO encounters. Fast forward to April 2nd, 1966, at the Westall School in Melbourne, Australia. Broad daylight. Over 200 children and their highly educated teachers watched in absolute shock as a massive, shimmering silver disc descended silently into a nearby open field, reflecting the midday sun. The massive silver object hovered just above the grass for several long minutes. Suddenly, 5 military aircraft appeared on the horizon, closing in fast. The moment the jets breached the airspace, the silver disc shot vertically into the heavens at an impossible, hyper-fast speed, vanishing into the clouds in the blink of an eye. This jaw-dropping event was broadcast across major television networks and remains officially preserved within the Australian National Archives today. 10 years later, on the night of September 19, 1976, an even more terrifying military escalation occurred over Tehran, Iran. At 12:30 a.m., an blinding aerial anomaly took up residence over the city. The Air Force scrambled an F-4E Phantom II jet, piloted by ace fighter pilot Parviz Jafari, with direct orders to intercept and destroy the target. As Jafari locked his sights onto the bright, color-changing object, a terrifying event unfolded in the cockpit.
While still 25 miles away from the target, Jafari's entire weapon system, communication array, and control panels froze dead. Suddenly, a smaller, hyper-fast glowing object detached from the mothership and streaked directly toward his jet. Fearing an incoming missile, Jafari executed evasive maneuvers. The glowing anomaly rapidly circled his aircraft, seemingly scanning his technology with cold precision before rocketing back to the primary craft and vanishing.
This terrifying mid-air standoff was so credible that it triggered a joint investigation by the CIA and DIA, cataloged under official report number IR6-846-0139-76. Decades later, in 2010, the mystery struck again at Shaoshan International Airport in China. At 8:45 p.m., air traffic control spotted a massive, glowing, elongated craft hovering directly over the runways. The threat was so severe that the entire international airport was immediately locked down. Strangely,
The massive object completely bypassed military radar systems, yet it was clearly visible to the naked eye of the entire airport staff. After a few agonizing minutes, the craft shifted positions instantly and shot into the deep night sky. These global encounters prove that these anomalies aren't just an American obsession. But why does the U.S. government hold the monopoly on disclosure? The answer traces back to a singular, powerful law, the Freedom of Information Act.
The Freedom of Information Act allows regular American citizens to legally demand access to classified government files, forcing transparency that other nations fiercely restrict. What the Pentagon just unsealed is only the tip of a massive global iceberg. The skies are hiding a truth that spans centuries, continents, and civilizations, and the files show we are running out of time to find answers.